until you found the zero. Anyhow, I don't want to go too much. So indicators of performance by satisfaction strategy. So all these satisfaction indicators, you call them satisfaction indicators. But each satisfaction indicator does not have it's a standalone, that doesn't have a lifetime or a life cycle or a process or each one of us will give a different weight for the indicator, and the end result normalization would be different from one satisfaction perspective to the other, or from as we said before, if you are looking at this presentation right now, a male will say, let's say I have 20% satisfaction, and another female will say I have 20% satisfaction. But their satisfaction, understanding, planning, and result differs from each other. So even the variables would be different from each other. Okay? So indicators of performance by satisfaction strategy. So basically, you're giving the quantitative satisfaction a semantic meaning by the strategy. Okay, let's talk about this again. Now, this is a quotation from a book, I think, 7. But this represents a piece of the literature problems or problem definition. It says, it seems that the majority of organizations will claim that they have some kind of individual performance evaluation process. When they come to doing the evaluation or appraisal, managers do not have much objective evidence about how the person performed. What they really produced, or the size of their contribution to a team or organization outcome, because it's basically from independent and ambiguous to linear progression. You cannot have a generic definition of the user satisfaction. But you can have a process classification framework. So let's say I talk about the user's features. Although the features of a male differ from the features of a female, but at the end it's a features. So I could evaluate, let's say, the toughness or mercifulness of a human being. Okay, so even if mercifulness means different from me to the others, but then I could still evaluate the objective or the life cycle of their requirements and variables of mercifulness into the category of mercifulness itself. Okay, even comfort, even security. So I could put quantitative and qualitative measures and variables and requirements. Okay. Now, managers conducting performance appraisals are not finding it to be meaningful process, especially if the organization have a key performance evaluation like a percent of performance appraisal completed on time. One of the objectives of individual appraisal is to develop people, but very few examples exist. Now, this is an explanation of the problem between the three lifetimes: user satisfaction, product satisfaction, business satisfaction, or the life cycle, which is the e-marketing environment. They didn't know, of course, about the e-marketing environment then, and I think until now nobody knows about my work. Anyhow, now this is me, or the PhD. Therefore, solution. I'm not going to call it solution. I want to call it a theory, but that means that I'm going to confront all science departments, basically the whole world and the history. Anyhow, therefore, this dissertation, dissertation is not a theory, present an indicators of performance by satisfaction strategy with a satisfaction statistical process control, SPC, satisfaction sampling e-marketing environment dimensions for how to create a performance measure terminology that supports our satisfaction performance evaluation. I wanted to write here but my supervisor said, nobody says I. Even my mother, she was a professor in physical chemistry. Annie, never say I. You know what that means? That means that you came up with this on your own. I said, yeah, well, I did. But she says, you didn't read literature? Yeah, well, I said, I read literature to find problems I need to solve. I didn't find anything to stand on in the first place to start doing my PhD. And she says, you are delusional. Well, I said, it is what it is. Anyhow, therefore, this dissertation presents an indicator of performance by satisfaction strategy with an satisfaction statistical process control. Now, this is very important to have a semantic process that has a satisfaction statistical process control. This means semantics can have a statistical value or a statistical framework that you can apply, let's say, apply mathematical or satisfaction mathematical evaluation measurements, functions that represent a semantical perspective. And this is, of course, satisfaction statistical process control, satisfaction sampling, e-marketing environment dimensions for how to create a performance measurement terminology that supports our satisfaction performance evaluation. This dissertation proposition is an satisfaction logic rule base that can be used in addition to traditional operational research tools to calculate not just optimal solutions, but solutions that are optimal with respect to the satisfaction knowledge about all testators and / all participants' strategy, preference, and plan effects on an e-marketing environment. See, I write better. When I explain it, it's not really, but when you read it written, it's really complicated. I mean, I have to talk about it, I think. So the proposition is a satisfaction logic rule. So it's semantics. satisfaction semantics. See, neural networks and big data, it's all quantitative satisfaction. It has nothing to do with quantitative satisfaction. So here we have a satisfaction logic rule that has, so the key performance evaluation has inside it the performance evaluation encapsulating the key result area indicator encapsulating the key result area. See the key result area, its complement, it's all of this. Key result, key performance, its complement, all of that. So you have a statistical process control between them to evaluate between the plan and the strategy of the satisfaction performance evaluation requirements and variables and process between all the testators, lifetime and life cycles, and all the participant life cycle or lifetime. Okay. Hence, this dissertation proposes a new satisfaction logic architecture based on indicators of performance by satisfaction strategy technique. It should be mechanism, but anyhow, to improve the satisfaction performance of all the testators and especially the user satisfaction, since in this PhD we are talking specifically about user satisfaction in an e-marketing environment, where in cascading using indicators performance for an e-marketing environment methodology, integrity measures, and providing satisfaction indicators performance relevant to different satisfaction strategy perspectives, which will enrich the cross-analysis environment. I'm going to have to not explain everything, so you can ask me about it. Again, I would like to reach a lot of people, so just recommended to. This is science, so I really care only about everybody to know about it, okay? So please share it. So now here's the key performance indicator, key result area indicator, key result area, which is a statistical process control. A statistical process control is the application of statistical methods to the monitoring and control of a process to ensure that it operates at its full potential to produce a confirming product. Okay. Okay, let's go to the what do I mean by statistical process control